Sister will feel like.
I know, we get ready to do the pledge.
See my shiny spot.
Nice. Well, that's a little better.
Ready? All right, welcome to the November 8th Village of Shawnee Hills Village Council meeting. Everyone that can, please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gates.
Here.
Eisner. Here. DeRosa.
Present.
Shawnee. Here. Thatcher.
Here.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, approval of minutes from the October 25th meeting. Anything on page 1? Page 2?
Third paragraph, third line down, says I told him to go through it with a fine tooth comb, C-O-M-B.
And then on paragraph 5, third sentence down, on the other side of that, should be a comma instead of after and.
Page 3?
Yes, second line, first paragraph, it says will be proud of for the, and we could drop the.
All right, page 4? All right, motion to approve the minutes from October 25th?
So moved.
Second,
Gates.
Yes.
Eisner.
yes.
DeRosa.
Yes.
Shawnee. Yes. Thatcher.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, approval of the agenda. Any questions? Have a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Second.
Gates.
Yes.
Eisner.
Yes.
DeRosa.
Yes.
Shawnee. Yes. Thatcher.
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, Brian.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things on my report tonight. You're like far away from me now. I can project this, so I'll be fine. Work on the 2 pieces of legislation that are up for the 2 resolutions for the first reading tonight. Worked with the chief on getting those together on tonight's agenda. Worked with Mark a little bit. We had a zoning matter pop up where I know he had issued a stop work order for a parcel and a property owner who was doing some things where he shouldn't have been. Another thing, there was a meeting, and Russell probably touched on this in his report. We had a meeting with Equity, actually last Monday, with respect to development and some agreements and some things that we're working on and working towards to keep that project moving. We have another meeting next Monday, so basically continue that process down. And then just want council, because a little look ahead, I know there was Larry Birchfield had a rezoning of the property on Dublin Road that he wants to now turn into Lions Club. That legislation is going to be coming in front of council to start that rezoning process. Your final portion of the rezoning process, I believe. First reading might be at the next meeting or December, I can't remember, but it'll.
22nd.
So that'll be up, so I'll have a public hearing and that'll move forward as well, so. And that is actually all I have on my report tonight. Happy to answer any questions.
Brian? All right, thank you, Brian. Russ?
All right, so leading out with Brian said on equity, met from last week, explained that we've been more than fair with our zoning enforcement down there. We get a lot of complaints on the property. And then they did move forward to clean up the lot. I believe they started tearing down the building Friday. So hopefully this is a sign that things will be moving forward quickly, or at least soon. The property between El Boquero and Walgreens, as Brian mentioned, we issued a stop work order. I received several inquiries about non-permitted work going on in that red lot. The property owner has been given instructions on how to comply with the code and what to do and how to submit it and how he needs to go about that several times. It wasn't until we physically put a stake in the ground and a yellow sign that he actually stopped. We had issued a stop work order the night before that he removed and continued working. It wasn't until we posted it in the middle of his driveway that he actually stopped working. So we're working through with that, obviously enforcement is a last resort. Does look like it might be necessary this time, but hopefully we get that worked out. There is a rezoning for that lot coming out, Brian and I discussed, and that's separate from any issues we have with him, his current construction on the site, so I hope you folks would consider it separate moving forward. Ohio groundskeeping is another one. Met with them last week, made sure it's the setbacks they've had. They understand our frustration. The fencing around the hole in the ground, apparently the last administrator told them to remove it, that it was an eyesore. They agreed that they will put it back up. They agreed to make progress sufficient for the village within 30 days. We'll meet with them again in December to track that progress and make sure it is sufficient for the village. Little things like the footer for the steps is poured around for Delaware County twice. So they got to tear the steps up again. The pitch on the roof on the porch was wrong for the plans, so that had to be, or will be torn back off. There's lumber delivered to redo it. What they had relayed to me was they take 3 steps forward and then 2 steps backwards. But we are going to communicate, track that progress, and work with them. Obviously, court last year and earlier this year didn't amount to anything. It didn't change the situation down there. It cost everyone money, including us. If we can work with them and get them to get it done in a timely manner, that's more effective than taking the court and spending everyone's money and nothing to get done. We're working to get the Shawnee crossing project stabilized. We have a meeting tomorrow with Mark and Chris, representatives of that property. We haven't been able to reach anyone, obviously, on the one side. There are investors that want to move forward and get the property stabilized and comply with our code. There's open storm sewers over there. They apply with stormwater. We can't have the dirt runoff, so it needs to be seeded and straw. I don't expect to see it grow this year, but there needs steps need to be taken to secure the site for our storm sewers. The PIA position, you want me to touch on this now, or do you want to talk about it when the legislation comes up, or?
We can talk about it when
Okay.
legislation comes.
So I proposed it to finance. I've had a couple residents ask me about it. I've even had a couple people volunteer to fill the role. Looking at that position, it would cost the village less than $6,000 annually, up to 5 hours a week, barring an emergency situation. They would be responsible for communicating to social media, take over the village newsletter, any media releases, anything like that. To date, anything that leaves the village and winds up on 10 TV or becomes dispatch is usually negative. This person would be responsible for helping change that narrative.
So it's not just something, it's not just where some people sounds like some people look at it like it's just what we're doing in council. This is everything, like the Christmas tree, everything.
The one of the main purposes is to have more transparency and keep communication open.
Correct.
Of what's going on in the village.
That seems to be the number one complaint on Facebook. And I believe council's doing their job. You guys are doing your job for what you're tasked to do. Me, Shirley, Ryan, we all do what we're supposed to do. But we miss that piece that a lot of other communities have, is that community liaison, that public information person. And that would be to take out things that are proposed, whether smaller big projects, put them out to the residents, those type of things. A resident volunteer sounds great, but from discussions I've had with other entities that have PIOs, it's not the best case scenario, because that person's going to need to follow our policies and procedures. We're going to need to be holding as a village employee because they are responsible for the message leading us going to the community or outside sources.
Right.
With a volunteer, we're a small town. So-and-so is like so-and-so, so-and-so likes so-and-so. So immediately someone either doesn't have a following or has a following, regardless of who we pick. And I think a truly unbiased outside individual that does nothing but relay information from point A to point B is the best case scenario for everybody. It's on my, the last thing is during an emergency situation, it allows everyone to do their job and not have to worry about what's going on outside. In an emergency situation, that's few and far between, but if we did have an emergency here in the village, Mark's going to be focused on, if we have a tornado, Mark's going to be focused on cutting up trees. The police are going to be doing their job. Who's going to do that? Who's going to put it on Facebook? Who's going to notify residents, next door, that kind of thing. That would be their role. kind of all I have. Last thing I have unrelated to that, is I haven't talked to anyone offline about it. I'm having some medical issues, I'm gonna take some time away, here and there, I'll know more tomorrow. But right now it's kind of up in the air, so that's what's going on. I'm fine, it's temporary, but I just want to relay that to you guys. If you try to get a hold of me in the next couple of days, I might be unavailable.
Does she have backup for you while you're out, like?
Least side, yeah.
Any questions? All right, police chief or end of month? All right, visitors? Carol, do you have anything? For the chamber?
I have one comment, and this is just up to the 5 of you who just got reelected. Congratulations, by the way. Village Shawnee Hills Chamber of Commerce annual meeting is December 11th. It's down at the Bogey. And my speaker is Judge Jim Scheck. So if you all want to be sworn in tandem, I'm sure that Jim would be happy to take care of that. Just let me know and I'll warn him ahead of time.
Carol, what day of the week is that and at what time is it?
The meeting, it's 9 o'clock at the Bogey or at the Morgan House. You get there at 8:30 for coffee and conversation. There is a fee for the breakfast. It's $22. But if any of you want to show up and have Jim swear you in, I think it would be kind of a neat picture for all 5 of you to be together in. I'll even ask him to bring a robe if you want. He's a very nice person. I think you'll enjoy meeting.
Can Rob wear a robe as well?
Pardon?
Can Rob wear a robe?
Yeah. Oh, Rob gets sworn in as president of the chamber for the next 2 years.
Oh, definitely a robe then.
But let me know if you want to be there. I'm actually leaving tomorrow morning for vacation, so I won't be back, but you can, until Friday. But you can still text me and send me an email if you're interested. But I think it's just kind of a spur of the moment, but I'm thinking I'm sitting 5 of you in a row there. It would be fun if you were all there at the same time. And it would make a nice
Yes,
PR
So the
picture
11th
that
is a
would be
Saturday, right?
perfect. Pardon?
The 11th is a Saturday.
It's it would be nice PR picture. Now I just have a minor comment on this PR person. I read this job description. I want to give myself a little bit of background. I spent 10 years as a news reporter, followed by 3 years in advertising and public relations. One of them was for Weight Watchers of Central Ohio. The other was for the Hearing and Speech Center here in Columbus. And the third one was a company that I don't think they exist anymore, but they're a motion picture production company. So I kind of know that deal. When this legislation says 5 hours a week, I want to give you a personal story. Wednesday, I was at a Chamber of Commerce executives meeting, and the topic was workforce and encouragement in the state of Ohio. And the speaker was John Husted, who is our lieutenant governor. He gave a bunch of statistics. Well, the conference was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so I didn't get to writing an email, but on Friday afternoon, I looked up his press secretary, wrote her a note, thought, hey, it's Friday afternoon, about 5 o'clock. I won't hear from her till Monday. She was back to me within half an hour. So that's what a press secretary does, is they respond almost immediately to what's going on. She wanted to know, he gave a bunch of job statistics. I wanted to know what they were because he didn't write it down. She says, you need to give me a little bit more information. I gave her more information, and by Saturday afternoon, I had all the details. This 5 hours a week is not a good plan. It should be like 20 hours a month. And put this person available on a 24-hour notice, because if something like that, somebody calls and they want something, they expect the press secretary to respond. And that's just my personal.
Any questions? Okay, thanks, Carol.
You're welcome. But do come to the annual meeting.
On the 11th.
Yeah.
Okay, just a couple things to add on to theirs. Obviously, we did meet with Equity last Monday. We'll meet with Equity again, right? There's a lot of engineering stuff going back and forth. So a lot smarter guys in the room than I am, so just let them talk. I wanted to thank the police and it was Flanagan's Insurance, right? The hot dogs.
Yep, and the
So
Civic,
if anybody in what?
and the Civic.
And the Civic, so 350 hot dogs on that night.
No.
And truly, I think Halloween around here is pretty cool. So thank you to them. That it was a good time that night. So the weather cooperated, which in years past it has not.
31st was a good idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Whoever came up with that one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we never talked about that before.
See it again in 5 years.
Yeah.
You'd have been real quiet if it would have worked the other way. You cheer back, don't say a word.
All right, that's really it, right, Rob?
Just a reminder that the Veterans Day is this Saturday at 11, on the November 13th for the village. Veterans Day celebration, the American Legion and everyone, the normal players are involved. We have a local singing the national anthem. So it should be pretty good. Local guy is speaking. Supposed to sing me a speech, I haven't seen it yet. But,
What time?
11. And that's all I've got.
All right, did we have any committee plans on?
Planning and zoning did meet and we did pass on letters, which Brian mentioned. We did approve a recommendation of the rezoning to council through letters that will be coming up presented in legislation.
Anybody else? No UST? Finance, we reported last time?
No.
Okay. Legislative actions. All right, first one. We have a third reading, resolution 17-2021. A resolution to increase the rate of pay for Mark Katzenbach, code enforcement officer for the village of Shawnee Hills. Any questions? Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 17-2021?
Second,
Gates, yes.
Isaac,
yes.
Barosa,
Yes.
Manny,
Yes.
Snatcher,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, we have a third reading, resolution 18-2021, a resolution to increase the rate of pay for Shirley Ruskowski, fiscal officer for the village of Shawnee Hills, Ohio. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 18-2021?
So moved.
Second.
Gates,
Yes.
Isaac,
Yes.
Barosa,
Yes.
Manny,
Yes.
Snatcher,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
And one more third reading, ordinance 17-2021, an ordinance to appropriate funds for current expenses and other expenditures of the village of Shawnee Hills, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022. Any questions on that? Get this done early. Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 17-2021?
So moved. Second.
Gates,
Yes.
Isaac,
Yes.
Barosa,
Yes.
Manny,
Yes.
Snatcher,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, this may be a sad day, maybe a happy day. First reading, resolution 19-2021, a resolution authorizing the chief of police or his designee to discard, salvage, or scrap police cruiser number 53 and declare an emergency. Do I have a motion to suspend with the second and third reading and declare this an emergency?
So moved.
Second,
Gates,
Yes.
Isaac,
yes.
Barosa,
Yes.
Manny,
Yes.
Snatcher,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 19-2021?
So moved.
Second.
Gates,
Yes.
Isaac,
Yes.
Barosa,
Yes.
Manny,
Yes.
Snatcher,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
And this is just a first reading, ordinance 18-2021, ordinance establishing and creating the part-time position of public information officer within the village of Shawnee Hills. So that's what we just talked about. Approval of bills in the amount of $115,962.46 Did we review, we reviewed on this then? Do I have a motion to approve and pay the bills in the amount of $115,962.46.
So moved.
Second. Kate,
Yes.
Myron,
Yes,
Melissa,
Yes.
Manny,
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
Beverly,
Yes.
Shirley, treasurer's report?
Okay, general fund, 169,686.07. $355,751.36. State highway, 23,525.32. PD body armor, 810.52. Drug law enforcement, 534.41. Indigent drivers, 385.84. Law enforcement trust, 5,963.53. American Rescue Plan, 42,947.94. Enforcement education, 1,228.5. Fire fund, 74,957.84. Weed fund, 3,157.30. TIF, 59,980.57. TIF 2, 17,366.65. Police district fund, 85,633.73. Veterans Memorial, 248.97. Sewer operating, 3,314.59. Sewer replacement, 13,311.08. Storm sewer, 6,859.03. Debt service, 73,560.61. For a total of 1,048,436.21.
All right, any questions for Shirley? Do I have a motion to adopt the treasurer's report as written?
So moved.
Second.
Gates,
Yes.
Ivan,
yes,
LaRosa,
Yes.
Manny,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Zimmerman.
Yes.
All right, any miscellaneous business?
I just wanted to echo what you said earlier about Halloween and the police department, and how really nice and fantastic, what a great evening it was. And I think everyone really enjoyed it, so fantastic job.
You set a bar, you need to break that next year.
Oh, we will.
There you go.
Don't let it go.
And it was all on donations, by the way, that didn't come out of our budget, so we appreciate it.
got some really good reviews on Facebook.
Those must have been the 350 people that ate hot dogs.
I think there's only 200 that ate those.
Oh, okay.
They were second and third.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?